want to talk about brain differences because our brains are different. By ours, I mean men and women. The brain is divided into two hemispheres, left and right. The left side is the masculine, thinking, male energy side. The right side is the feeling, feminine, yin energy side. The way I remember it is women are always right. Works for me. Works for my wife. Let's take a look. Two hemispheres are linked together by a bridge called the corpus callosum. This bridge is smaller for right-handed men. By smaller, I'm talking about width. Right-handed men tend to bifurcate. They tend to be in one lobe or the other. This is the reason when a man is concentrating on something, if you attempt to interrupt him, he will get very agitated. Keep that in mind. Also, when a man is concentrating something, if you try to tell him something, he cannot hear you. Just so you know. All women and left-handed men have a broader, wider, larger corpus callosum. This gives them more flexibility in moving between the left and right, feeling and thinking. Question. Trivia question. 5 of the last 6 presidents have been left-handed. Guess who wasn't?
Bush.
Bush, you're right.
George Jr.?
George Bush. Okay, you win, there's no prize.
George Jr. or George?
George Bush Jr. Okay, don't get carried away, okay? I'm still talking.
But you're left-handed.
When I think of Bill Clinton or Barack Obama, I think of charming, flexible negotiators. George Bush, not so much. There's a great book on brain differences called Why Men Don't Listen and Women Can't Read Maps by Barbara and Alan Pease, P-E-A-S-E. For example, for millions of years, men have gone off hunting long distances and made their way back to the cave. Women have stayed closer to home base. I experienced this phenomenon firsthand myself when I went to Taiwan with my wife. We went to visit her uncle in a neighboring city. When we got there, the next morning, her uncle's wife took us to breakfast. Since she was driving, I didn't pay much attention to the direction we were going because I had no plans of getting out of the car. On the way back, my wife decides to get out of the car to look at some signs. Confident she knows where we are and how to get back to the house, I got out as well. I was wrong. Turns out she didn't know exactly where we were or how to get back to the house. Well, that's not a problem. We'll just call the house. Turns out she left the cell phone at the house. Okay? Not a problem. Surely she knows the address. We'll just take a taxi. Not so. Relying on my ancient wisdom, I remember we traveled east to get to the restaurant. So I decided to head west. I headed west, I noticed some landmarks, remembered a couple things, went a little bit south. Obviously, I made it back, because I'm here to tell the tale. However, our brains are different. I can also verify that men use 2,000 words a day. Sufficient number. Women use 5,000. Do the math. Come back over here. The left side, the left hemisphere, is the yang side. It's concerned with thinking. The right side, the yin side, is concerned with feeling. The left side, yang side, is focused in the mind. The right side in the body. The left side, yang side, focuses on money. The right side focuses on sensual and sexual. I refer to you to David Buss's book, Evolution of Desire, red copy, 3rd edition. In this book, he describes how for millions of years, men have brought resources to the relationship. Women have brought fertility and property, beauty. The left side says that pain is okay for the right cause. Put me in, coach, I'm all right. The right side, no pain. I want to stay on the right side for a moment. The right side, the inside, is the home of the limbic brain. The limbic brain is 200 to 400 years old. It is a non-talk center. It communicates through tones, gestures, postures, facial expressions. It communicates through intimidation and seduction. Which, I want to go back one step. 85% of communication is these tones, gestures, postures, and facial expressions. Keep that in mind. The yang side, the left side, is the home of the neocortical. The neocortical is 44,000 years old. It is a talk center. It communicates through words, signs, symbols, which make up 15% of communication. It communicates through negotiation. This is an important landmark. I'll go into this in much more detail, but keep it in mind the difference between intimidation and seduction versus negotiation. The left side, the yang side, is driven by testosterone. The right side, the yin side, is driven by estrogen. The left side is active, the right side is passive. This is all the time I have for today. Next time I will go over how yin and yang energy functions in action. For now, I want you to remember, our brains are different. As the French say, vive la différence. Long live the difference.